be used to coffee and tea with Carrie V, but this is booze and brews without either of the above. But I haven't done an in-person on the video podcasting, and we're talking all things UGC. No, you're not too old, because we've got some great age range here, and we're slaying. And speaking of UGC, we have these moisturizing gloves on that I thought would be so funny for us to wear, because we're talking about UGC, and this is a UGC project.
It is.
That Carrie just filmed. One of many that she just filmed.
Yes.
Yes. So Carrie, tell us, how'd you get into UGC, and what were your thoughts at the beginning of your journey?
I got into UGC because of you, but it took a couple of invites. I think you sent me the link for the one platform that we use a lot, probably 4 times before I clicked and joined, and then I didn't know what to do with it.
She was like, I'm too busy, I'm too this, to that, and then she's like, but I would love to make more money, and I'm like, I got an easy way for you to do that.
Yes, and try cool new stuff. Most of the things that I've gotten on UGC, I had no idea even existed or that I wanted or needed them. It's just been fun, like moisturizing gloves.
Literally.
From this company.
It's crazy.
Yes.
And so as you started to get into it, what were like some of the biggest things that you had to overcome to kind of like really commit to the process?
Yeah. So 2 things, I think the biggest. One was my age. I was convinced companies would not want someone who is pushing 60 hard. I just thought they are going to have nothing for someone of my age. And the other thing was feeling comfortable enough on camera, even though I'm on stage and I film a podcast, to do something that is talking about a UGC product felt foreign to me. And I just thought I would stumble through it.
And how long did it take you to feel like you were like really getting your footing and you were kind of like, yes, I can do this?
No longer than 2 weeks. It was just so fun right from the beginning.
Right. And something that I think is just such a big misconception is you have to be also like super versed in video editing and being an influencer. Like,
no. I mean, I understand that thought process. I felt that way too. However, when you gave me the tools, you showed me the tools, you showed me the apps, download this app, and then it was just a quick Google search. How do I edit a video in this platform? How do I change the size of a picture? How do I change the pixels of a picture?
Right. So she took initiative to really learn some of those like little nuances and those techie things to be able to really excel faster, because it's not that they're impossible things. Just if you don't know how to change the pixels of a photo because you've never done it, okay, you don't know how, but you look up how to do it, and then once you know how to do it, it's smooth sailing.
Yes.
And really anything you can find for those little editing things, you can look it up and it'll walk you through step by step, and there's apps to help things, and there's all kinds of great platforms. And so even if someone like deems themselves as not tech savvy, I am not tech savvy at all, you can excel. What about when it came to like the editing process? Because that's something else too that people are so afraid. Like, I've never really edited a video other than maybe like an Instagram reel of me doing a little workout clip. Like, what was your experience with that?
I actually still have people when I talk to them about UGC and send them your way, because the programs that you offer teach everything you need to know, which is fabulous. And people will say to me, "Yeah, but I could never edit a video." And I felt that way too. But 1, the apps make it easy, and 2, if you want something bad enough, you'll figure it out.
Like, I remember when I first learned how to do an overlay, and I didn't know that's what it was. Like, I was literally Googling and like asking people, how do I get the audio track from one video to play over the clip of another? And I wanted to know how to do that well before I started UGC. And I didn't know that it was called an overlay. I didn't even know how to describe it. I mean, other than that, which you put that into Google and it's not helpful by any means. But I remember when I first learned how to do that and I realized how easy it was, it was a rush. It was like, whoa, the skies opened up and the rain stopped. Like that, when people are like, I didn't know how to do an overlay. But then once you realize there's an app and you just literally click a button and it's like, it is that simple. But I just didn't know. And of course you don't know what you don't know, but once you get it, it's not hard to get. But once you get it, because oftentimes it's right in front of us, we're just not looking in the right spot, because I didn't know it was called an overlay. I had the app that did it. I just had no idea. And then once you know, it's smooth sailing. And most of the things that you do in editing are not super complex, because if brands want to get like super fancy, they're going to do it themselves.
Yes.
Because UGC creators are not full-scale video editing teams.
Exactly.
Most brands know that. Some of them, which kind of brings me to the point, dealing with some tricky projects. Of course, we've all navigated a few of them, and you will, whether it's a creative difference or just a lack of, meshing and sometimes a language barrier. What has been your experience with overcoming obstacles, and what areas of life have you pulled from to be able to handle those?
Overcoming difficult circumstances. You try to communicate at first, and you and I both worked with one brand that ended up being so hard to work with, so hard. And I don't know if it was a language barrier or if they just had something against us from the beginning. I don't know, but it was so hard to work with them. And I pulled from everything I knew about communication and tried to be extremely accommodating with this brand, offered them multiple edits, and nothing was good enough for them.
Yeah, going above and beyond. And there's some point too, and I've talked to her about this, and I've talked to my clients too, is there comes a point where you just can't please someone, and you just have to focus on doing the best job that you can do within the scope that you were hired for.
Yes.
Because yes, there are elements of customer service here, but there's also a point when you're like, I'm not going to be abused though.
Yes.
I'm not going to be
or not
taken
follow,
advantage
or
of.
not follow the platform rules and regulations. You don't want to get knocked off the platform. And when a client or when a brand is asking you to do something that is very much outside of those rules and regulations, and you refuse to do it, and then the brand turns around and slaps you with a bad rating, it's then using your negotiation and skills of communication with the platform, and saying this is what happened, and presenting your case in a very clear, respectful way, and asking them to remove a bad rating or to let you leave the job without any impact on your hireability.
And I will say sometimes some of those communication and those little, conflicts can be one of the only real stressful parts about this stuff, because although that happens, and I love to be upfront with people so they can be prepared, because the first time you get pushback or someone who's unhappy, it's so easy to think there's something wrong with you. And it's like, no, like we both had the same issue with the same brand. And so it's like, it likely has nothing to do with you. A lot of these brands, also the person you're communicating with is maybe someone who was hired out and they don't work specifically for the company, or they do and they have like 3 bosses above them, and they're like feeding you information that's trickled down through however many hands. And it's just, there's a lot of hands in the, what's the phrase? A lot of hands in the
pot?
Yeah, something like that. And so oftentimes you are kind of getting the short end of the stick, but it doesn't mean that anything is actually wrong with you. And you could be the most skilled, the most talented, the prettiest person in the world, and you're still going to run into these conflicts.
Yep,
so just be prepared and handle them and stand your ground. But of course, again, we also have like a lot of fun. What has been like the most fun or the like most exciting products that you've received for free, or anything like that comes to mind, like highlight wise?
There are some brands like this one that did these gloves. I love these, and I've gotten so many different things from them that I didn't know existed. Those have been super fun, and when those jobs come up and they say, hey, this company has approved you for a job, it's like, oh, I can't wait to see what they send me. It's going to be so fun.
Like speak of the devil. It's like, well, I had a job that just completed. And when it pops up, I'm like, ooh, what is it? We both have been getting hired in the past like 24 hours for some cool stuff, and I'm like, you're my good luck charm. But it's just, there's always like some big surprises. What you mentioned, like getting rehired by the same brands because they love your work, is very rewarding and gratifying. And are there any like products that have stuck out as like favorites? Because I'm trying to think. Why is my brain fried?
I have worked with a couple of brands that do jewelry. And
she's gotten a lot of jewelry and a lot of makeup.
Yes.
Like way more than me. So when people are like, if I'm a certain age, I'm going to get blank stuff.
So here's the thing. There's an entire untapped market out there for older women. And we have been, this is going to sound like, like I'm whining, but the older women market has been ignored for years.
In marketing, and brands realize this.
And they're realizing it, and so they are hiring, looking for women 50, 60, 70 to talk about their products, their makeup, their skincare, because they want to know real women of our age are marketing this to women our age. We're not being ignored anymore. So it's really fun to get these makeup and skincare things and try them on skin that is our skin is totally different. I'm postmenopausal skin and she's prime of her life skin. So companies are getting to see both, how it reacts on both kinds of skin.
100%. And I would say like we both got a cold plunge tub.
Yes.
That was like a fun job. Like
it was.
come on, like those are expensive. What else? I'm like, what else have I been like really excited about? I mean, you've gotten like,
I got some pretty expensive hearing aids to do.
so you can get some of that stuff, but you might know someone that wants
That's
it too.
the cool thing.
And so you can gift this stuff afterwards. You film a video, you can gift, you can donate. Like there's so much that you can do with that. I mean, I've gotten some really cute clothes and like pajamas.
Yeah. A robe. I got a robe.
She got a robe. We both got this like kind of blanket shawl type thing. You got a blanket too.
Yes.
All kinds of things. And I feel like my mind is just so blank, but like you name a category, like different notebooks and cards. I got a really cute girl math budget planner.
Yes.
Phone cases, like you name it. There's so much out there. And you get to keep the products for free.
All kinds of supplements that I've gotten to try.
A lot of supplements. And I think that is like super common too. Just a lot of brands, they don't just want to hire an actor. They want, okay, what's a normal person going to say about this? They're going to try it. They're going to speak organically. And so like expensive ones too.
Yes.
Like ones that are upwards over 50, closer to $100+. We both have done a number of those. And also, speaking of the dogs, pet products, stuff for pets and babies. If you have a baby, if you have any types of pets, so much stuff.
So much stuff.
To clean them, to feed them, to give them TREATS because they're over there and I don't want to wake them up, they're napping. But
then they know that word.
So many things.
Yes. Yeah, and even I apply for all the jobs that are kids, even if I can't borrow crews.
and that's a fun thing too. I don't know if I've really talked about that too much other than inside of some of my programs, but like even if you don't have a kid, if you have a friend with a kid or a kid in your life, you can do a video with them and they get to keep the product.
Yes.
Just like one of her dogs, I call him my UGC dog because I don't have a dog, but I'll send her the product, she'll film it for me, or when I'm here, we'll film some stuff together. And then sometimes, again, same thing, Cruz films some stuff for her. And Teresa, because he doesn't film that much, but he will do it for Carrie. And so little things like that, you can get creative to be able to make really good money from the videos and get incredible products.
Yes.
And that really is, like, it is like, it's more fun than you realize because a lot of people, they're like, oh, I didn't realize how much I enjoyed filming and being creative and making videos. And what would you say is something you've discovered about yourself to kind of wrap us up about like this whole process in the world of UGC now that you're 6 months, a little bit over 6 months in?
I've really discovered that I'm very good at talking about a product. I'm very good at coming up with the script. I'm very good at being able to highlight what the brand wants and pick up on that.
I just got a 5-star review. I got a 5-star review.
Let's see if I got anything while we're on.
Right? Did she get any jobs?
Not yet. Not yet.
That's so funny.
Oh, just something from one of the brands about it.
Right.
Okay, so and that's just fun too because some of the brands respond so fast. Like I just recorded this probably an hour and a half ago and uploaded it, and they're super fast, especially when they love your brand of creativity. And I think that's the cool thing for the brands is that your creativity is so different from mine. Yes. And so I will sometimes watch your stuff and go, oh, I wish I'd thought of that. But then I realize we're not the same person. And we have very different personality styles, and that's what the brands want.
Brands want variety.
They want
because they're targeting different people for many product categories. And I think that's what's so cool is like Carrie has had so many brands keep coming back to her. That's a sign that they love what you do. They love the service you provide. They love what you bring to the table in terms of your vibe, your energy, what you say, what you script. And I thought you were going to say this, but then you kind of went a slightly different direction, is that brands love that you can see things from a different vantage point than they can.
Yes.
And that is also like what they're paying for. And brands will pay good money when you get in front of them and show them what you're capable of. And that's part of what I teach inside of my programs. Lights, Camera, Rehired teaches you how to get higher paid video jobs and retainer deals, AKA brands coming back to you over and over or hiring you for bulk orders at once or a certain number of videos per month for an ongoing rate. And you have projects in all of those categories.
Yeah, yeah, and even some brands that have reached out because they've seen things on social media from other brands. I have brands that will message me outside of any platform and just offer a contract.
Which is insane. And most UGC, as you guys know, if you've been here, you don't post most of it on social media. A couple things here and there if you get booked for that kind of job. But brands then find you, reach out to you, and offer to pay you, which is so different than network marketing. Because
Yes.
when you come from network marketing, you used to like banging down doors, please pay me. But now brands are banging down your door, please let us pay you.
Yes, yes.
And so,
and let us send you a whole bunch of free
a
products.
whole lot of free stuff.
And I've even written to brands. I wrote to one brand and said, I want to try your eyeliners. If you want to send me one, I'll create a video for you. And they sent me 10 eyeliners, 10 different colors of eyeliners, along with a contract.
Amazing.
Yeah.
See? And as far as like, Kerri, like what do you say to brands and this and that to get things like that? That's also part of what we're going to be going over inside of that program.
Yes.
So Kerri, what would you say in our final closing to someone who's on the fence about UGC, whether they think they're not experienced enough, that I don't know if I can do it, if I have the time for this, I might be too old. Like, what would you say?
I would say you have nothing to lose by going through the program and giving it one solid month of your time. An hour a week. Give it an hour a week, and see if it doesn't start to light a fire within you of a creativity that you didn't even know you had. But the first time you see you click the wallet in the app and you see how much you've made from creating a tiny little video here and there, it's like, oh, I can do this.
And you ramp it and you scale it from there if you choose to. If that's the area you want to go down, some people just do it for a couple extra bucks here and there. But either way,
do it.
We'd love to know what questions you have for UGC, either for me or for Kerri. Post them in the comments. We'll make sure they get answered for you, either in a future video or one of my YouTube shorts. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.